Act Number 4136, an act to compile the laws relative to land transportation and traffic rules, to create a land transportation commission and for other purposes. Republic Act Number 4136, also known as the Land Transportation and Traffic Code, serves as the foundation for all traffic laws and regulation in the Philippines. All motor vehicles must be registered in a national database. It also set registration requirements and fees for all vehicle owners, along with requiring drivers to register for professional or non-professional license. The Land Transportation Office also imposes penalties for violation through its registration and licensing requirements. In terms of traffic regulations, RA 4136 set the legal speed limit for every drivers to follow. Here is the list of speed limits for all vehicles in the Philippines. Maximum allowable speeds, on open country roads with no blind corners not closely bordered by habitation, passengers, cars, and motorcycles, 80 kilometers per hour. Motor trucks and buses, 50 kilometers per hour. On through street or boulevard, clear of traffic with no blind corners when so designated. Passengers, cars, and motors, 40 kilometers per hour. Motor trucks and buses, 30 kilometers per hour. On city and municipality street with light traffic when not designated through streets, passenger cars and motorcycles, 30 kilometers per hour. Motor trucks and buses, 30 kilometers per hour. Through crowded street, approaching intersection at blind corners, passing school zone, passing other vehicles which are stationary or for similar dangerous circumstances, passengers, cars, and motorcycles, 20 kilometers per hour. Motor trucks and buses, 20 kilometers per hour. RA 4136, violations and penalties. The penalties range for 100 pesos to 500 pesos. For RA 4136 violations, which include the following: overtaking and passing a vehicle, right-of-way and signaling, turning at intersections, reckless driving, right-of-way for police and other emergency vehicles, tampering with vehicles, hitching to a vehicle, driving or parking on a sidewalk, obstruction of traffic.
Majority of provincial bus lines also did not join the voluntary dry run of a policy banning them from EDSA. A Quezon City court blocked the ban after the MMDA failed to submit a study proving that it would ease traffic. The MMDA pushed through with a dry run because it has yet to receive a copy of the halt order. The Metro Manila Development Authority says they are planning to put up fences too along the yellow lanes in EDSA. It's a new plan of action to solve an age-old problem.
Ang target natin dito, ang pasahero, ang nakapila, nag-aantay sa bus. Hindi pwede yung ngayon na yung bus nakaparada sa EDSA, naghihintay ng pasahero.
But for many commuters and motorists who had to endure hours of travel along EDSA, the question remains, how long will they have to wait in traffic for authorities to reach a proper solution?
Act Number 8424, an act amending the National Internal Revenue Code as amended and for other purposes. Republic Act Number 8424, also known as the Tax Reform Act of 1997, it is officially stated that the internal revenue tax structure in the Philippines will be rationalized in order to support sustainable economic growth. In order to boost economic activity and disposal income, tax administration should offer equal relief to all taxpayers. This will also create a stable business environment that will improve businesses' potential to compete on both regional and global markets. At the same time, the state ensures that the government can meet the needs of those under its control and care.
Tell us, why should the public faithfully comply with their tax filing obligations?
Rico, because our tax code is very clear. Under the 1997 tax code, it is a crime not to file our tax returns.
So non-compliance is punishable. Is a punishable offense under existing regulations. But for the benefit of our viewers, does the law also allow for exemptions, Mon?
The only exemption provided by the law are actually exclusive to our employees, those with one employer and no other sources of income.
Republic Act Number 8492, an act establishing a national museum system providing for its permanent home and for other purposes. Republic Act Number 8492, also known as the National Museum Act of 1998, the state want to pursue and support the cultural development of the Filipino people through prevention, enrichment, and dynamic evolution of Filipino national culture. We have example of museum. We have National Museum of Natural History, National Museum of Anthropology, National Museum of Fine Arts, the Mine Museum, National Planetarium.
Buksan ang dangdang tawang bagong bukas na National Museum of Natural History sa Rizal Park sa Maynila kaninang umaga. Tinaon ang pagbubukas ng museo sa International Museum Day. Libre ang entrance sa museo kaya alas 2 pa lang ng hapon, higit 2,000 na ang tao rito. Tampok sa bagong bukas na museo ang mga specimen at replika ng mga yamang lupa, yamang dagat, mga halaman at iba pang likas na yaman na makikita lamang sa Pilipinas.
Republic Act Number 9072, an act to manage and protect caves and caves resources and for other purposes. Republic Act Number 9072, also known as the National Caves and Cave Resources Management and Protection Act. The state is required to conserve, protect, and manage the cave resources as a part of the country's natural resources. To achieve this, the state must improve communication and cooperation between government agency and the user of caves and cave resources for scientific, educational, recreational, tourism, and other purposes.
Environment Secretary Gina Lopez won't allow the construction of an underwater resort and theme park in Palawan. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources quoted Lopez on its official Twitter account Wednesday. Viacom International Media Networks, which owns Nickelodeon, announced earlier that the resort will open in 2020. It will feature restaurants and lounges 6 meters below sea level. Viacom says it will be part of a 400-hectare undersea development that will showcase the area's marine life. Environmentalists oppose the plan, saying the theme park will destroy Palawan's marine ecosystem.
Presidential Decree Number 442, a decree instituting a labor code, thereby revising and consolidating labor and social laws to afford protection to labor, promote employment and human resources development, and ensure industrial peace based on social justice. Presidential Decree Number 442, also known as a Labor Code of the Philippines, is a legal document that governs all employment policies and labor relations in the Philippines. This will serve to protect workers and employers while ensuring that neither is subjected to unfair treatment or exploitation. Set of rules that make up the labor code. Working hours in the Philippines, 8 hours a day. Employees exempt from completing working hours. On Article 82, a labor code states that an employee under all establishment and undertaking needs to complete a certain set of working hours, except government employees, managerial employees, field personnel, family member of employer who are dependent for support, domestic help, individuals who provide personal service to others, workers given wages or salary based on the Secretary of Labor Relations. Rules for overtime work, more than 8 hours on regular days, additional compensation of 25% of regular work wages, more than 8 hours on holiday or rest day, additional compensation of 30% of regular work wages. Rules for undertime work. According to Article 88 of the Labor Code, undertime work on a business day will not influence overtime work on any given day. This means that if an employee leaves work early, he or she cannot be made to work overtime the next day to make up for those hours. This is because the rate of overtime per hour is higher than the missed hours. The Labor Code also states that in a case an employee received permission to take leave on a specific day, his or her employer is still required to pay for any additional compensation or overtime work done previously or in the future. Leaves. All employers are subject to weekly rest day of a full 24 hours after every 6 consecutive working days. The specific rest day can be mutually decided. However, an employee can argue his or her case if he or she prefers to be given a rest day based on a religious event or holiday. All employers reserve the right of holiday pay. This will include his regular daily wages. In case they are called into his work on a holiday, they must be paid twice their regular rate. If an employee has worked for a minimum or 1 year for his company, he or she must be offered a yearly service incentive leaves of 5 days with regular pay.
Categorized into 3 major component, no? One, of course, talagang yung mahalaga, may kinalaman sa hanap buhay or jobs, no? At nakatali dyan siyempre yung usapin tungkol sa kasiguruhan sa trabaho. Kalawa yung may kinalaman sa income and benefits, no? At diyan, nakapaloob naman yung may kinalaman sa umiiral na pasahod ng mga kumpanya sa kanilang manggagawa. And thirdly, yung may kinalaman sa prices ng basic commodities. Kasi kung bumababa ang purchasing power ng mga manggagawa, hindi sila nakatutugon doon sa pangangailangan ng kanilang pamilya. And the other thing na medyo nagkaroon kami ng pag-uusap o meeting of the minds ay may kinalaman sa health and safety concerns ng mga manggagawa.